Hi guys, so I'm here today to give you an update in regard to the eBay GPSR regulations. I've been trying so hard to reach out to people. I have called MPs and my calls have been ignored. The local constituent MP who I helped get elected, I was out leaflet and canvassing for that person. They've not replied to any of my calls or my texts, so that's quite disappointing. This is a big issue for everybody living within Northern Ireland. What I have found is that with the regulations, and eBay are not understanding by the impact, they've not done an impact assessment to this, and to be honest with you, it seems to be they haven't a clue about what's going on. I have deciphered from the regulations that they've laid down that if you are an eBay buyer, in other words, you wish to buy products on eBay, the majority of the UK, the remaining UK, not Northern Ireland, I would say we would call it GB for the practice of proper geography. Great Britain are turning off their seller accounts for Northern Ireland. They're not going to sell to us in Northern Ireland. 1.8 million, isn't that right? 1.88 million people are going to be turned off with eBay because eBay hasn't had the sense to sit down and do an impact assessment. Are they listening to me? Nope. Have I reached out to them about 15 times so far? Yes, and they are not responding. They are not phoning me back. It seems to be hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. They don't want to deal with it. It seems to be they haven't a clue about this, so they can't give the answers for me to do anything. I've sent emails to people who are reps. I can name the reps, but I don't think I should. But they've just more or less ignored me. So let's go to what is, or how can I survive this drama that eBay are exercising upon me and every seller and all eBay buyers within Northern Ireland. Let's tell you what they're doing. So I am an arbitrage seller. I will sell something like this. This is a LED round bulkhead done by MDL Electrical Solutions Limited. Okay, I could find out the electrical, the actual person who's manufactured this. It has instruction manuals inside. For me to sell that to someone in Northern Ireland, yes, I live in Northern Ireland, but if I want to sell this to my neighbour down the street, what I have to do is I have to upload the information pertaining to MDL Electrical, their contact information, a European Union rep for this when it's in the UK, an instruction manual in PDF format, and telephone contact numbers, address details of the manufacturer, and any CE approvals that it may have. So I've listed this. It takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to list this. I pull it out, I picture it, and I show it to the sellers. I now have to go do so much more documentation. It should take me roughly about an hour to do that listing. Profit margins. I would probably tell you I bought this for about £6, including VAT and fees, and I will probably sell that for about £9. So there's a £3 profit on it. That's a gross profit. I have to hope that my staff can get this done within 5 minutes and list this within 5 minutes so that they're profitable. Because I have their wages to pay, which is approximately $27,000 a year for doing listing. Plus they get, there's a pension system and a tax system and a staff worker system. It's quite expensive to employ a member of staff. But for them to do that, I would need to ask them to do this for free because my market is not set up to do all this. I have 13,000 different products for sale. So that we can put up for sale. That we can do. But it will take me 45 minutes. And the cost to make a commercial decision, I would have to now charge the customer, not Northern Ireland, by the way, because, well, maybe it is Northern Ireland, but that means that Northern Irish people, to get products, will require more effort. What does that mean? More cost, because it's going to cost me double the money to put it up. So I'm going to have, instead of selling this for £8, I'm going to have to sell it for 11 to Northern Ireland to cover my cost. I can't do it any cheaper than breaking even on 11 quid just to sell this one product. So what it means is that the whole of the GB is going to turn it off. And me, if I wish to sell to Northern Irish people, I have to charge more because it's going to cost me more to upload that information to a European law for Northern Irish people who live in the United Kingdom. Yes, we have a soft border on the EU, but that doesn't necessarily mean we should be regulated to the EU standards. We're still a part of the United Kingdom. So, saying that, I've worked on a few things and I was trying to work out the reasons or what we have to do. This is what they expect me to find: the approvals, the manufacturer, the address, and sell it. Here is some of the stuff I sell for my customers. This is a beautiful Wallace & Gromit egg cup, okay? I will probably sell that for about £4 with a wee bit of delivery cost on it, maybe £5, £6 for that. £3 each delivered to a little kid, okay? Now, if you look, there are no markings of any CE approval. There is no markings. It's second-hand. This is a second-hand. These are 2 second-hand egg cups. Now, how am I supposed to find the manufacturer of this product? And how am I supposed to get an EU rep when I'm not even in the friggin' EU? How? eBay, answer me the question. These two, how am I supposed to sell them? That. So, we also sell things like this. Little tiny brass bowls. Okay? In a bag, most likely from China. Beautiful little brass bowls for putting your wee dips into for someone. There's 4 brass bowls sold for £10. That's £10 with free delivery. Okay? Now, where's the CE approvals? There's not a marking on it. How am I supposed to find it? Am I supposed to just make it up? Am I supposed to pretend and call myself Mr. John Smith of Mr. Unknown Address at Unknown City in Unknown Postcode? Where? Where are you? How are you supposed to get a UK rep? Or not a UK rep, an EU rep? Because it's not a UK rep you need. It's an EU rep you need for this guy. So does that mean that I can no longer sell that? Or do I go to my Northern Irish customers and say, listen, invest in my business. I'm going to start a new business called Northern Ireland Bay, where I sell to Northern Ireland people freedom of bureaucracy that you're giving us that really makes no bloody sense. I mean, look at this. You're asking me for CE approval on lollipop sticks. I sell them for $3.99. How on earth do we get CE approval for this? You're not thinking. There's one there I sell. We sell springs. Do I know the manufacturer? No, I don't. I buy them like this. And, you got the strengths and you work out how much strength it has by looking at the length and the gauge of the thing. That's all I can do for these people that want to buy a spring off me. I assume that's for a bed or for some sort of trampoline. But how am I supposed to get CE approval for this little tiny spring? A dog chew. It is simply in a bag. It doesn't come with labels. Customers want stuff cheap, and eBay are asking us to keep it cheap. You're asking us to put bureaucracy on, and you're not expecting us to go in line with minimum wage efforts. I give my staff a good wage, and I can't stand it when you expect me to go down to my staff and say, guys, eBay's expecting this, but our profit margins, they're expecting us to keep on doing sympathy returns. They expect us to constantly overlook scammers, refund on immediacy, constantly pay for returns for free, But you're not expecting, where are you going to get the money out of £3 for this, guys? It is ridiculous what you're asking. Now, here's another thing we sell, and they come in a lot. Little tiny hubcaps from Renault. You're asking me to get you an EA approval. Renault, what do you want me to say? And you want me to get you a UK rep on stupid 1995 centre hub discs that I just don't know. I know where Renault is, but that doesn't mean I can give you the telephone number for someone to call because it hasn't got CE approval or any levels of GPSR safety recall. This is what I'm saying. What are you guys thinking? Are you sure you're not aiming for someone within, say for example, I don't know, Holland, who is bringing in 16,000 containers from China, and they know every product, and they're selling multiple items for the same listing? You're not getting this, guys. You're talking about arbitrage selling. You're trying to kill arbitrage selling, and you're killing only the Northern Ireland people, because no one wants to sell to Northern Ireland because they don't want the hassle of having to fill in all this nonsense for selling, you know, I don't know, this. A little fan. It's called a disco fan. I don't know what it's for, but maybe it's worth £3. But you're asking me to give you 45 minutes of my life to fill in the GPSR details only because I live in Northern Ireland. And the UK people can, or the rest of the UK can just go, oh, I'll just turn off Northern Ireland. We don't need the hassle. You guys are not thinking it through. There's 1.8 of us, 1.8 million of us. And all you're doing is you're just basically constantly killing your market. I have been an eBayer for 23 years, since you started with me. I have been with eBay for such a long time, and you've made all these silly decisions over the times with these CEOs coming here and there, and all you've done, all you've continued to do is decline your thing. You think you're being wise, you think you're being smart, but you're not going and sitting down round a table and doing an impact assessment. Can I ask anyone in eBay to come forward and tell me this? Answer this to me. Have any eBayer, any eBay rep made contact with someone in Northern Ireland? You mentioned Northern Ireland and it excludes Northern Ireland and this is Northern Ireland. But how many eBay people have you got from Northern Ireland representing you or representing eBay or their location? And I bet you haven't got someone from the Outer Hebrides who are trying really hard to survive selling pots that they hand make. And you're asking him to provide CE approval if he has to sell it to Northern Ireland. You know, you're killing the business, guys. You're taking whatever margins the rest of the UK sell to Northern Ireland. We are in the United Kingdom. You didn't mention GB, you mentioned UK. UK is Northern Ireland. Get it right. Here are things like EANs. There's some microfilters that I can sell. All right, AeroPress microfilters. It's got an EAN and it auto-fills the information. That allows us to know the manufacturer, etc., 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 etc. This is easy. We can sell these. However, my extended time, which we've worked it out, we've now got the understanding. When I upload this guy here, I get another 5 to 10 minutes work. When it's got an EAN on the back, when it has an EAN, it's so easy to find the manufacturer. But we're arbitrage. We would sell second-hand stuff. I'm going to stop you for a second till I go and grab something else. So, here I have everything else that we've been developing. Now, sadly, you're expecting me to find CE approval for this vintage Mary made in about 1930, 1940. You're asking me to give you CE approval and an EU rep for that. Where are you guys working? I don't know who you put in charge of the GPRS rollout. So, can I ask anyone from eBay to tell me, how am I supposed to find a EU rep and a manufacturer for this candlestick? Please tell me, someone, because no one's talking to me. I've given you all my details. You know my companies. All you have to do is look for AlanC. My limited company is the Battery Shop Limited. Go and have a look. Find out what I do. Give me a call. You know my numbers. In fact, put my details and how they can personally contact me through MSN and eBay. Reach out to me and explain to me. And now the group of Northern Irish people that are currently watching this film, and they are saying, Alan, well done for standing up for Northern Ireland. Because no one is. Our MPs aren't certainly listening. I have 2 MPs that ignored my calls. 2 MPs. I will remember that. And I will mention their names if you ask. Here's a silver goblet. A silver goblet. Beautifully made. Okay, so it would be vintage. But look how beautiful that is. Do you see any CE approvals on that? It's handmade. You're expecting me to get you a European Union rep because I live in Northern Ireland. The mind boggles. This sickens me to the stomach that I have. My loyalty to eBay has been so long. We have built a business. My staff depend on this money. I depend on this income. I have been growing this business based on eBay's reasonable behavior at most years. You've been a bit harsh sometimes with sellers. This has been the worst. There's a mug, Anta, made in Scotland. You're seeking for me to give you EU, CE approvals, documentation, an instruction manual, Rory, how to use this mug. You want me to upload an instruction manual. I don't know how old it is. It doesn't say its age, doesn't say its manufacturer. It says, I think roughly it says made in Scotland. How old's that? Don't know. I have to get now some sort of museum prefect to come in and go, yes, it's circa 1900s, you'll get away with, you don't have to put it up, because that's the problem. This is, if it's 100 years old, is classed as antique by the rules. It has to be 100 years old. So anything from 2024 onwards has to be listed with CE approvals. Looking more, a little hologram owl. Can I ask you a question? Where am I going to get the manufacturer? I could just make something up. And this is where I'm going to talk to you about making these things up. I'm going to talk to you about this. So I have now found certain documentation that you can get for this tick boxing exercise that eBay wants me to do for me to maintain 13,000 products. Okay, again, it's not viable to do, but just putting this down for a minute. And I'm going to show you a box. Here it is here. It's known as Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Christmas lights. Are they CE approved? Well, according to this, they are. It has a UK rep. I'll let you see that. Okay, there's the UK rep. So that's good. We've got that information furnished. We can actually upload these and sell these to someone from Northern Ireland. So, Goldreach Consulting Limited, Office 102093, Hardman Street, 10th floor, Spinningfields, Manchester, UK, M3, 3 Hotel Foxtrot. Their email address is goldservice@hotmail.com. I emailed that email address and it bounced. I looked this up. It's a fake address. This is not a UK rep. Another one for a little hook. Made in China. It's got a UK rep thing. And it says name, Apex CE Specialist Limited. Address 89 Princess Street, Manchester, M1 4K, UK. It seems to be all these reps are in Manchester. Email info@apexce.com. Telephone number 0755 2100 5330. I called that number. Guess what? It's not right. Doesn't work. This is what you guys are asking me to fill in. Fake documents. You're asking me to acknowledge a tick boxing exercise that's simply fake. That's what they're asking me to do. Now, hand-painted little teddy bear. This has been done. It's quite a big fad at the minute with these hand. I got one. I intend to sell that for a tenner. But guess what? I can't sell it to anyone in Northern Ireland. In fact, I might be excluded from selling it at all. All my 13,000 products, if I can't get any documentation for this, I can't sell it because I live in Northern Ireland and therefore I must have the documentation anyway if I want to sell to the UK because I'm allegedly from Europe. Another one. There's loads of these little things. They've got different things like it talks about what it is, but it has no information at all. Two hand, it's from China, a couple of brackets, a couple of screws, instruction manual in the back. With the instruction manual, I may be able to upload that. But again, are you going to hide my listing because I can't provide all the documentary evidence of an EU or a UK rep? So, anyone know what this is? Oh, this is on a postcard. This is an ADSL filter. I sell loads of these. We sell them for $4.99 for 2 of them actually, with free delivery. But does it inform me of who the manufacturer is? They come in British Telecom routers. They are just a standard router. It has a CE approval, but you're asking me to provide documentation of the manufacturer when I will never know who the manufacturer is without putting man hours for the $4.99 or $3.99 that I charge for these things. 2 of them, free postage. Have you any idea about practical cost of labor? I don't know anyone in eBay, but I'm sure they're being paid above minimum wage. So far, no one has contacted me back. No politician has got involved with me because it's going to affect Northern Ireland in a whole. No one from eBay has give a damn. No one in Philippines know what they're talking about when I call. Every time I call, I get put through to Philippines, no matter how many times I try. And all the emails I've sent, anyone that I've reached out to, the only one that seems to give a damn right now is Nick and Andrea. Kudos to you, Nick. And I really appreciate that you're seeing the sheer hell that we're about to go through. And better than that, you yourself, Nick, you yourself are going to be losing money because you'll have to untick EU and untick Northern Ireland. And I know that we buy from you because guess what? I bought from you only because you were a YouTuber and I wanted to see what you were like just to test you. And I felt that you're a great eBayer, as I like to think I'm a great eBayer. It's one of these things that have made me money over the years. And I feel that, Nick, you're an inspiration. And I hope, because you're on the council, I'm not good enough to be on the council. I only give them, I think last month, I think they earned $7,000 in fees from me. So I'm not really worth that much to them. $7,000 in fees. I'm so disappointed with this. I feel that this is going to be a massive stop for me. And I will end on this. eBay, you're forcing me to commit fraud. You're forcing me to move my business legally to England. I'm going to have to buy a house in England in order to maintain being excluded from this issue. I can have a depot here in Northern Ireland, delivery depot, storage depot, but legally, if I put my company in England, I can uncheck Northern Ireland. You know, I can uncheck selling to my neighbours. But what I do to get around that is I start a new site and I call it Northern Ireland Traders or something like that and get everyone to put their stuff on. And I will do it in a way that protects Northern Irish customers. You're going to stop the supply and the dependency on eBay. And Amazon are not doing what you were doing. You are putting the onus on us. Amazon haven't spoke to us once yet. So it's your call. I can only do what I have to do to survive. I have 12 staff here that depend solely on this income. So it's up to you. Are you interested in saving jobs? Are you interested in saving your own company? The CEO needs to read this. The MD of eBay UK needs to read this. And Nick, Andrea, please help. Any other flippers that are involved in the UK, please look out for your professional sellers that are trying to earn a buck from this. Yes, I've done exceptionally well from it, but that is 20 years plus of experience in eBay. This has been a long time that I've been building this business, and eBay are about to wipe it on the December the 13th. Thanks for listening. Please watch, please like, please subscribe, and please comment. Say something, people. Thank you.